Hi and welcome to The Pipeline with Tom Roberts. Today we're here in Saudi Arabia with Amar, and we're going to talk about water conservation and share some of his knowledge from the region and some of the strategies he's worked through throughout his career in quite a area where water conservation is such a critical topic as it is in Australia as well. So Amar, I'll hand over to you to tell us a bit about yourself, a bit about your background and how you got into this particular area of the industry.
Thank you, Tom. So, as you said, my name is Ammar Al-Qadi, and I'm a full-time civil engineer working in the water sector. I graduated from a local university here in Saudi called Al-Qura University. It's UQU. Go UQU. We don't do that here in Saudi. I'm just trying to appeal to you. I studied civil engineering here in Saudi in some of the universities. You graduate as a general civil engineer, general mechanical, electrical engineer. That they cover you on all the topics. They cover you in infrastructure for civil engineering, construction, supervision, water, hydraulics, and everything, and surveying, of course. So you get the whole picture. Then you can decide afterwards in your graduate studies and masters, and if you want to work in specific sector. So after I graduated, I worked in contracting for 2.5 years. My first ever project that would make me doubt working in civil engineering was working in the middle of the desert in a remote area, constructing a military airport for a world defense show, an event hosted by Saudi where global entities come and see the advancements in technology in the military sector. So that was my first project. Every day I had to travel 100 kilometers by car going in, 100 kilometers going back. I don't know how much is that by miles. I don't know if you use miles in Australia.
We're kilometers.
Kilometers, yeah, we're on the same page then. We're working on runways, aprons, taxiways, and some of the water networks within that airport. After that, I went to the Kingdom of Bahrain and worked on Saudi-funded projects there, on infrastructure and water plants, treatment plants, and distribution plants, and of course, strategic storage. And after that, I joined WSP Middle East as a water engineer, and I worked fully in the design, master planning, strategic planning, feasibility study of water infrastructure and potable water, wastewater, irrigation systems, and stormwater.
Yeah.
So and I've been with them ever since. If I talk about my passions, which is out of context, I am a full-time voiceover artist and a part-time cinematographer as well.
Yeah, so you're perfect candidate. It's good. We were just chatting about that before. I'm getting all the tips and tricks for the future episodes.
Exactly. Hopefully, I'll help however I can. I'm not very consistent with it, but yeah, I try to balance it out, with engineering and all of that, to find something that you love to keep you going.
Well, you can tell why I've grabbed you for this interview now, because we've got that shared passion about cinematography and filming, and as well as water, obviously.
Yes, of course, and I agree with you on that. Yeah.
So to delve into the water subject matter, we've just held a number of panel discussions throughout the conference, the MEP International Conference here in Saudi. And one of those sessions actually focused on water conservation. So I really wanted to explore some of those concepts that we've discussed throughout the conference and delve into some of those areas that you've worked in and share some of that knowledge. The first, I just wanted to get share a bit of insights from the region and what is water conservation, what are the challenges that are being faced over here, and then what are some of the solutions that are becoming quite common and being implemented in the engineering field in Saudi and within the wider Middle East.
I think here in the Middle East, we're considered as a water scarce region, not literally in terms of natural water resources. Yes, we have groundwater reserves, shallow aquifers and deep aquifers, but if we're talking about rainwater harvesting, we don't have a lot of rain. But at the moment, we're working on cloud seeding in Saudi and in the UAE, I believe, but still, it's a work in progress. It has been successful in the past, but we're working on it. In terms of lakes, we don't have any lakes. Very rarely, I think, a small one or two. We're planning to do artificial ones, but natural ones we don't have. So our dependency here, not fully, but approximately, let's say 70%, is on desalination. But in the middle region, there's some huge groundwater reserves, like in the city of Riyadh and some of the eastern parts where they are highly dependent on the groundwater reserves for irrigation and crop irrigation and all of that. Now, at the moment, we're going towards creating a conservation culture here in Saudi in terms of energy and in terms of water, because as part of our Vision 2030, which aims for sustainability and diversifying the economy of Saudi Arabia in terms of energy, importing of goods, and commercial activities. And we're trying to go towards the direction of green energy or our net zero and carbon counting. So we're trying to reduce the dependency on desalination. So part of that is water conservation. How do we do that? Previously, we were not too keen on reusing water for landscaping and secondary uses. Now we have started implementing that. For example, now we have the SIO, which is Saudi Irrigation Organization, which is fully responsible for all the treated sewage effluent water that it's to be used for irrigation. Okay, and it's responsible for all the green initiatives in Saudi. We have an initiative called Green Saudi, which is basically to increase the green cover in Saudi, and a lot of planting. Actually, in Riyadh, we have one project called KSP, King Salman Park. That is bigger than Central Park in New York.
Oh, wow.
Okay, it's bigger than that, and I don't know.
It's always bigger over here, isn't it?
Yeah, it's big. Think bigger.
Yeah.
Think bigger, because we have ambitious leadership, to be honest, and they're always looking up. You know, they just we have a saying that Saudi ambitions is the sky. You know, the limit is the sky. Like a local saying. So in this project, the KSP, it's going to lower, as what I understand, you can correct me on this, it's going to lower the temperature degrees in Riyadh by 3 degrees, because it's going to cover a lot of areas. It's a huge project. You can just check it out on maps, then you will understand the scale of that. And it's mostly irrigated through TSE water, which in the past was not very keen on that, the government and the authorities. In terms of harvesting or fostering a conservation culture, now the kingdom has introduced the National Center for Water Conservation, okay, which is its mission is to educate the public and aware them about the importance of water and how to conserve it. They do a lot of massive social media campaigns, public events, mass media, and advertisement campaigns to spread awareness about that. And they do, by the way, a lot of collaborations between the public sector and the governmental sector to enhance or encourage their customers and employees to adopt water-saving sustainable practices and technologies, so they could encourage their end users.
Yeah, so just the human water consumption behaviors.
Yeah, human water consumption behavior, yes. And we have, by the way, introduced a tiered water pricing system because, you know, Saudi is growing in terms of developments. We have a lot of urban developments and a lot of commercial and entertainment developments. So that would bring a lot of, and it's targeting to attract a lot of new residents to the kingdom from abroad. And of course, the population will grow gradually. So it means the water demand will increase. So to answer that, they have increased they have done a tariff, which is a tiered water pricing system that will serve as an encouragement for individuals and businesses to lower their water consumption, because higher levels above average became much more expensive. Okay, actually we have a breakdown of that tariff. You can refer to, if you know anybody in Saudi that has a monthly water bill, they will give you the bill, a breakdown of the costs, and under that you will see a chart explaining the whole tariff. You know, like for example, the first 100 cubic meters that you consume in a month, it is this cost. If you exceed that limit, okay, then it's going to be 50% more, and if you exceed that limit, then it's going to be 60% more. You know,
which is a good system compared to just charging excessively for every litre that you use.
Exactly.
It really will impact the behaviours of the building occupants to try and reduce it more.
You know, I agree with you.
Not penalise
not just give them the charge and pay for it. No. It's
I like that system.
Broken down thoroughly. And you bring another good point. There is also collaboration between the end users or customers and the service providers. For example, we have a company here called the National Water Company, and it's fully responsible for the distribution of potable water and the collection of wastewater and treating it, basically from the city gates to the end user.
Yep.
Okay, they have done a good service. I'm not sure how you can reach it, but you can put like a conservation limit to your monthly conservation as an end user or as a business. For example, they're gonna automatically calculate your consumption, or your average consumption per month is like 50 cubic meters per month. So after doing like research exercises or checking your monthly bills previously, they will consider 50 cubic meters as your average the monthly consumption. So you can ask them for this service. Once you reach the 50% or the 50 cubic meters, or reach 40 cubic meters per month, you will get a message from NWC. You have reached 90% of your average consumption.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Now you have only 10%. If you're gonna exceed it, you're gonna get into
a little bit like your phone bill, like you're getting into your cap.
Like a credit limit or something, you know. So it was implemented. Not a lot of people are aware about this, but to educate them or help them conserve their consumption by being aware of their consumption, not just open the tap and pray for the water bill to be be manageable or affordable.
Fingers crossed it's not huge at the end of the month. Yeah.
So exactly. And we have a national strategy, not to confuse it with Vision 2030. We have a national water strategy for 2030.
Yep.
Okay. Of course, all of it is part of Vision 2030, but this is a strategy developed by the Ministry of Environment, Water and Agriculture, MIWA, which is targeting a reduction in the average daily residential consumption per capita by 2030 from 250 liters per capita per day to 150 liters per capita per day.
Oh wow, it's a significant increase.
Yeah, a decrease. That's approximately 60%. Yeah. It can be possible, but public education and awareness plays a role in that. Advanced technologies and leakage detection technologies, and trying to solve the dilemma or the challenge of harvesting non-revenue water, which is water generated by leakages in our water systems and water networks, and of course water reuse. As we mentioned today in our panel, we were discussing the reuse of greywater, and how does that help us in reducing the dependency on desalinated or fresh water for secondary uses. Here in Saudi, in some areas, actually we're progressing in this actually. In some areas, the flushing water, toilet water, is desalinated water. Okay,
it's expensive.
It's expensive to treat, honestly. But in some areas still, as WSP, we have advocated for some developments. One of the major developments in one of the major cities, it's confidential. I can't tell you the name of the project.
Yeah, that's okay.
But it has approximately 2 million square meters of gross floor area, GFA. We have advocated for separate greywater treatment units for each of the huge residential complex there. Basically, we're taking the greywater from the showers and from the faucets and laundry machines, treating it into a central greywater recycling system, and then recycling it back to irrigate the landscape, not crop, landscape irrigation. And it can be used for district cooling, and sorry to cut you off, and flushing systems. Yeah, your point, sorry.
So is that to the scale of that development, or is there small...
to the scale of that development.
So just one system that does all that?
Yeah, it's a central system, as I know. I might be wrong, but I'm sure that we have advocated for that. But I believe it's a central system for the whole development. Okay, it's a limited development. It's not like a huge city or something, but limited development, and that system is dedicated for it.
Yeah, well, that presents a lot of opportunities as well, because you've got that one central plant system. It's from a management and ongoing maintenance perspective, it does create a lot of opportunities and a lot of advantages in that sense.
Yes, and it comes with its own challenges. If we were to apply greywater recycling system to an existing development, an old development that has a unified drainage system, which is basically wastewater, combining gray water and black water.
Yeah.
It's going to be a bit of a challenge because the building is already well established and you need to demolish and create a separate plumbing system that collects gray water from showers and sinks and laundry machines, and a separate system that collects black water from kitchen sinks, because oils and all that, and from toilets.
Yep.
So it comes with it's not impossible, but it's going to be cost heavy a little bit.
Yeah, it does present a few challenges as well, because you're actually removing a lot of the wastewater that would have assisted moving some of that solid matter down the drain lines as well. So your carrying capacity in that network is actually reduced. So
I agree with you. So the optimum environment or the optimum scenario to construct grey water recycling system is for new developments.
Yeah.
That, or as they call it sometimes, green fields or something. You know, that you're considering it from day one, and then taking in consideration a separate grey water system and a separate black water system.
Much easier than trying to retrofit it into a system where most of the sanitary systems are already installed, and quite difficult to retrofit that type of arrangement.
Exactly, and you know more about this than me because you're the plumbing expert. So
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I'm mostly infrastructure. I'm underground, so yeah. So it comes with all challenges. I agree with that.
Can you tell us a bit about the low flow fixtures that are used over here? I'm just kind of interested because we've discussed a few times the comparison between the low flow fixtures that are used in Australia versus what's utilised over here.
Yeah, understood. Well, low flow fixtures, I think that you know, but I'm just going to explain it to the viewers.
Yeah.
Low flow fixtures are plumbing devices that use significantly less water compared to traditional fixtures. They achieve that by using special aerators that are attached to a faucet or a shower head, and it reduces the water flow by mixing water with air. That results in reducing the water flow but maintaining the same pressure of that flow. That is to convey or give a satisfactory feeling or a satisfactory flow to the client or consumer, so they don't feel a change.
Yeah, like a comfort level, especially when showering, when that's an essential component.
Exactly, because it conveys. I don't know how to say this, but when you're showering under a huge pressure, you feel a bit relieved. I don't know, but a low flow or a low pressure, it's not satisfactory. You understand what I'm saying? It's just a human thing. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just a degree of comfort, or
exactly.
I guess the feeling that you are being cleaned.
Exactly. So they're trying to maintain that pressure, but reducing the original flow. Of course, they come in the form of low flow shower heads, low flow faucets, low flow urinals, and toilets. And they achieve conservation in both residential and commercial buildings. I would say more in the commercial buildings because the quantities are more, and the consumption is much higher than residential buildings. But it can be utilized in residential buildings. They achieve conservation in 4 different areas. First of all, reduction in water usage, which is achieved through optimized flushing systems and efficient water flows. For example, in efficient water flows, a traditional shower head uses approximately 10 liters per minute, while a low flow shower head uses approximately 4.6 liters per minute. So that's 50% reduction almost. It's not almost 50, but 50 almost percent. And the second area is optimized flushing systems. An old model of a toilet or traditional toilet uses approximately 18.6 liters per flush, while a low flow toilet uses 4.6. Of course, there are dual flushing systems, of course. So that comes to show that we're almost saving 80% of that water. So it shows the effectiveness of how low flow fixtures work. And of course, if we use that, there will be benefits in that. Second of all is energy saving.
Flow on effects.
Yeah, exactly. Like what they call domino effect. Energy savings in the case of heated water. A low flow fixture reduces the volume of heated water that is coming out of a faucet or a shower head. And if we reduce the amount of heated water, that means we're reducing the energy used to heat that water, which means lower energy costs. And also, if we're decreasing our energy consumption, the energy generation will be much less, which also means as a domino,
Yep.
the carbon footprint for energy production will be minimized.
Yep.
The third area is, of course, cost savings. Cost savings in terms of, as I said, we're conserving water, which means lower water bills, and we're conserving energy, which means as well lower energy bills. And there is return on investment on that, or ROI. The cost of implementing or installing low-flow fixtures at the beginning, the upfront cost is a bit high, to be honest. Okay, depending on the technology that you're using, sensors, no sensors, and traditional faucet heads and all of that. But in the long term, the return on investment will be substantial because you're saving your energy costs and saving your water costs, as I said earlier. And finally, I think it's contributing significantly to sustainability in our efforts to sustainability. Because basically, if we're conserving, as I just said, almost 40 to 50% to 80% of our daily consumption for secondary uses, we're maintaining or helping in increasing the longevity of our water resources and maintaining the sustainability of our water resources. So low-flow fixtures are simple in concept, yet highly effective if used efficiently and correctly.
Yeah, it's really interesting to kind of hear those insights around not only just using water efficiently and trying to reduce the drinking water demand,
Yes.
but also once it's been used, how does it get utilized again?
Yes.
So how does the reuse actually make the most value out of every drop that's drawn from that drinking water supply?
No, and I agree with you on that.
So one of the key things that I want to learn about what's happening in Saudi and learn from your experience is what's happening in the space of public education and awareness to improve water conservation strategies or reduce the demand on the drinking water and actually change people's human behaviour around how they use their bathrooms and their plumbing fixtures to reduce the demand on drinking water. Is there any sort of education campaigns happening here?
Yes, you raise a good point. And actually, as we discussed in the panel here today, and I think I referred to it in the beginning of the interview, I don't know if we were rolling at the time or not. So we spoke about how Saudi is going towards the route of fostering a conservation culture, a water conservation culture or energy conservation culture as part of our Vision 2030 and as part of our National Water Strategy for 2030. At the moment, I think we have implemented or established the National Center for Water Conservation, which is the National Center for Water Conservation and Water Efficiency. Its name in Arabic is MAI. And its main mission and role is to spread awareness and public education about the importance of water and how to conserve it. And they have done a lot of education campaigns, awareness campaigns, and of course, along with collaboration with different authorities and different entities to achieve that. And of course, to make the public more aware about the importance of water, they have introduced a tiered water pricing system called tariff. And of course, all of these practices, which I will get on later, is based on the best global practices to achieve water conservation. And I will get to that later. The water pricing system is basically to encourage individuals and businesses to lower their consumption because higher levels of consumption that are more than average or above average became much more expensive. So that's why it's implemented. And all of this serves all these two factors serve into achieving a strategic goal, which is to achieve the targets of the National Water Strategy for 2030, as I mentioned, which is aiming to reduce the average daily consumption in the residential sector from 250 liters per capita per day to 150 liters per capita per day.
Yeah, so a significant reduction.
Exactly, almost 60%.
Wow.
So to achieve that, of course, we need to take in consideration technologies, leakage detection systems, leakage-free networks, consider the challenge of non-revenue water, which is as a result of leakages within the networks, water recycling, water conservation, public education and awareness about that.
So it's a big package then.
It's a big package, and we need time to foster that environment or foster that culture. And one good example of that is the success story of Singapore and how did they achieve water conservation. Singapore in the past, I'm sure that you know that they have suffered from water scarcity in the past. After their independence in the 1960s, They suffered from droughts in the 1970s, the 1990s, and they were highly dependent on imported water from Malaysia.
Yeah.
So to fight that, or to find a suitable solution to that challenge, they have introduced a national strategy called the 4 water tap strategy. And one of the pillars of that strategy is to achieve the highest levels of public education and awareness to achieve water conservation. And they have achieved that through 4 things. Okay, they have done. I think my phone is ringing. 1 second. Really sorry.
I'll chop it up.
Yeah. To achieve that, they have done government initiatives and government policies. Government initiatives like massive advertisement and awareness campaigns utilizing social media, mass media, and public events to spread the message of water conservation and the importance of water. The second of all is the government policies. As I just mentioned, that we have introduced the tiered water pricing system. They have done the same and introduced their own tariff or tiered water pricing system to encourage businesses and individuals to lower their consumption. The second area, of course, is, if I remember, is integrating the concept of water conservation into their school curriculums from an early young age to help foster a water conservative generation.
Yeah, so that water conservation strategies or the way they use water actually changes at a young age, and that becomes the new normal.
Exactly, become the new norm, basically. So develop the new generations, because I'm not saying that the old generation or the current generation is not learning. No, they have dedicated community programs for people who graduated from the education system, whether in colleges or in schools. For the community, they have done community workshops, community roadshows with subject matter experts to help spread that message or widen the approach of that message. The third area is public-private partnerships.
Yeah.
The government there in Singapore, I think it's led by the PUB, the Public Utility Board. Yeah, in Singapore. They have done collaborations with the government sectors and the private sectors. Private sectors and local businesses were encouraged to adopt sustainable water saving practices and technologies.
Yeah. Is that something that happens over in the Middle East as well?
Yes, I believe so. Yeah, I think MAI is doing collaborations, but I'm not sure or too keen on what it is exactly. And you can fact check it on that, because I'm not too sure about that.
Oh, that's good.
But they do collaborations. You can see it on their website, but I don't know with what entities do they do that collaboration. So as a result of that, encouraging businesses encourage their own employees as a domino effect, and customers to adopt the same water saving practices and technologies. And finally is the introduction of the new water program, which is the most significant point in public education and awareness. So as part of their national strategy, they have introduced a new water resource in Singapore, which is the treated sewage effluent water. They have taken it, treated it into higher levels of quality, that it became almost drinking water quality, or let's say drinking water quality. But they haven't treated that water and given it to the public and say, here, that is treated TSE, drink it. No, nobody will accept that. What they have done is they have done massive and extensive and transparent education and awareness campaigns to gain social acceptance of reusing that water. So they took a lot of time in that. They took their time, and they were successful in that. And they have gained social acceptance. After gaining social acceptance, the program started kicking off. And it started to be one of the global benchmarks in that regard, which is TSE, treated to higher levels of quality.
That's it, because it is drinking water quality. It's just the assumption that you're drinking wastewater.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's getting that mindset change, and that does take time.
Getting that, what they call it, the uck factor or the yuck factor, something like that. It's actual terminology. They call it the yuck factor or something. So overcoming that hurdle of that factor. So that comes to show that social acceptance will not happen if we don't implement successful education and public awareness. So that comes to show the important role of that.
Yeah, it is important. I know it's something that has been grappled with by other countries that have looked at that type of technology, and maybe it's something that they can look to Singapore and other countries that have been successful in that space to draw some I guess, aspirations on how they could achieve, I guess, greater uptake of recycled water and the different uses that can be utilized for.
I agree with you. Absolutely. It's significantly important to achieve any aspect of water conservation. Oh, yeah.
Oh, well, thank you so much for sharing your time and your knowledge and letting everyone know what's happening in the region and abroad. Really great opportunity to talk to you. And
thank you so much.
Really appreciate your time.
It's been a pleasure, honestly.
Absolutely, thank you.
Talking to you with the panel and having you here in Saudi, and hopefully we get to see you soon.
Yeah,
another
I'll be back again soon, I'm sure.
Of course, you'll be more than welcome.
Okay, thank you, Emma.
Thank you so much.